Hello my loves, welcome back. Now today we are talking about Venus again. I know, this has been a Venusian month, right? We've been talking about Venus ongoing, and to tell you the truth, this is not the last video. We are going to talk about Venus again in April when she moves direct in Pisces. In this video, I want to particularly talk about the inferior conjunction between Venus and the Sun. What it means for us, what we can learn. We're going to talk about the new cycle that is starting and the old one that is ending as well. Now, this inferior conjunction between Venus and the Sun is going to happen on the 23rd of March, and it is happening in Aries. An inferior conjunction is a little bit like a new moon. It's a Venusian new moon, basically, right? So to understand that it is a new phase. A new phase is beginning. Venus is going to appear as the morning star. She's been the evening star since last June, right? We've been seeing Venus in the evening sky. Now, once Venus comes out of this inferior conjunction, she will appear as the morning star. The day this video is published is the day Venus is going to start her descent into the underworld. She's been on her way there, but now she's really disappearing out of sight. And the inferior conjunction on the 23rd is going to be the deepest, darkest, quote unquote, moment for Venus in the underworld. So she's been in her balsamic phase, right? In the past month, more or less, balsamic phase of Venus, where she's been really purging, but also rejuvenating. And the rejuvenation process is still underway. So she basically is between Earth and the Sun, so we can't see her, right? She's disappeared, quote unquote. She's still there, but we can't see her. And it's kind of like the subconscious mind, right? It's there. All the stuff that's ever happened, that has ever occurred in our life, it's all there. We can't really see it anymore. Much of it we don't remember, right? But it doesn't mean that it's not there. It's there. And depending on what it is still making us act and behave and be a certain way. And this Venus, remember, Venus is worth and value. So when Venus is in the underworld, when Venus is working away in the background, she is dealing with those subconscious layers of worth and value that we are not fully aware of, but that we play out in the physical on a daily basis. But now we have the beautiful opportunity to bring those layers to the surface, understand them, or if we don't bring them to the surface, we have an opportunity to work away in the subconscious, to release them there. We don't always have to understand everything. I know in this world that we live in, that is very focused on what we can see and what we can understand, we are told that you gotta understand things to work them through. I don't believe that. I really do not. In my own experience and my time on this beautiful planet and my time doing my inner work, there have been times and there's been inner work that I've been doing where I brought the jewels up and I understood things and I was able to release and reintegrate them in a beautiful way. But then there were also times where like a burden fell off and I didn't really fully understand what exactly fell off, but I felt lighter. I was able to move forward in a new way without fully understanding what exactly was released, what exactly fell away and why. Because we need to remember certain things occurred in our early childhood where we were not aware, that we don't remember consciously because we didn't take them in consciously. So we can't really expect to make them clear, to make them fully conscious. You know, we just have to learn and allow them to fall off, fall away, dissolve in the subconscious. And again, this is a time now where we can really hone in on that. When it comes to worth and value, relationship stuff, I have to tell you, like for me, this Venus retrograde has been quite an unraveling. And I in a way, I knew, obviously, I knew what areas this fell in my chart. So I was like, I'm sure I'm going to work on layers there. I don't really know what layers I'm going to work on, but I will work on layers. And sure enough, I did. And to my surprise, it's been very revealing, but also to a degree, just the things just started to dissipate, and I really didn't. I was like, what is this even? I don't even know what I'm working with here, but I'm just gonna let it happen. There were a lot of tears, and I don't even know where the tears came from and why they were there to begin with, but they were there, and I understood that if there are tears, something is released, and I don't always have to understand all of it. Let me just do this. Sorry, I think it's better. Now, so what did I just tell you? We talked about the inferior conjunction, the sun, Venus being between the sun and the earth. That's why we can't see her. The last Venus cycle, the last inferior conjunction of Venus was on, was on the 13th of August, 2023. And I'm smiling and thinking, because I remember this day so clearly. It was a pivotal day. It was a pivotal time in my life, relating also to what I'm working through now, just in a different way. And I can really sense how I'm in the dissolving process of certain things that occurred or were brought up during that time when we had that inferior conjunction. And then the superior conjunction is when Venus meets the sun while she's not in retrograde. Inferior, Venus is in retrograde. Superior, Venus is direct, but she meets the sun. And that's when she turns from the morning star into the evening star. That happened last June. Then we had her as the evening star until we get to the next inferior conjunction where she starts the cycle as the morning star. Now, what can we expect now with a morning star cycle? We have to remember that Venus energy as the evening star is a Venus energy that is more internalized. It's a more internalized process. It's kind of like the full moon phase. New moon, new beginning. Full moon, culmination. Something is ending, something is coming to a head, and we are releasing. Now, when we do that same with Venus, new Venus, right? She is bold, she's starting something new, she is like out there. And then when we have the superior conjunction of Venus and the sun, we are having a full Venus, right? A full moon. Something's coming to a head. Something is that was certainly true for me also last year during the time Venus was in a superior conjunction with the sun. So something was culminating. And then from that moment onwards to the next new Venus, we are in this waning phase of Venus where we go inward, right? That was the journey of Venus. It's a more internalized Venus, right? She's working away on the layers. She releases until we get to the balsamic phase, until we get to the retrograde where she's like really in it. And then we're starting a new cycle. And that's where we're at now. If you want to go into this matter deeper, I recommend the astrologer Ariel Goodman, because she goes really deep into this. Like she has a whole book about it. She's been on multiple podcasts. She goes really deep into the Venus star point and the different cycles and where the star point is at any given time, and how we just started a new one last year with Venus in Libra. There's a lot to know. She has a lot of knowledge, deep knowledge. So if you're interested in that, I highly recommend her. And you can, go deeper into your Venus cycle, your Venus star point. There is also, if you just want to know which phase you were born under, you can go online. Actually, maybe I'm going to link the the quote-unquote calendar for the Venus cycle in the description box, so you can understand what cycle you're born under, what you are working with, right? Like, because the Venus star point is has nothing to do with what Venus sign you're born in. For example, for me, I'm a Venus in Pisces. I was born with Venus in Pisces, but my Venus star point is in Gemini, and I was born under a morning star. Like I already mentioned, that this is a star point in Aries. So we have to remember Venus in Aries is ruled by Mars. Venus is not necessarily super comfortable in Aries because it's Martian territory. But she is very brave here. She's very strong. She's very bold too. She takes bold actions. Because again, you know, she has Mars in the back, and Mars is kind of, Mars pushing her forward. The morning star, so this Venus inferior conjunction, when Venus turns in the morning star, generally is tied to new beginnings, right? Taking bold action, leadership, moving forward. And with Aries, what I see here is raw desire, pioneering spirits, like taking risks in love. Like taking risks in love. That is really how I would describe it. And I think that's what I'm going to title this this video to. Like, you are taking risks in love. You're like, okay, let's be bold. Let's try. We also need to be open and let life surprise us. Giving love a chance. And not in a Piscean way, where we are just like, give ourselves up. No, we're not giving ourselves up here. We're giving in. And we are standing strong, and we are being bold, and we are saying yes, but we have boundaries. There is a bit of a warrior spirit generally to a Venus morning star, but also particularly, obviously, to Venus morning star in Aries. So we are in for this cosmic reset in love, but also self-worth and money, right? Remember, Venus also relates to abundance. Abundance, part of that is money. Another thing that comes to mind, it's not just that there's a new chapter beginning, but also there is a lot of independence here, right? That, again, this is Venus ruled by Mars. There is this independent spirit. It's going to be a pioneering time and a very courageous time and a brave time for many of us, but at the same time, I think we will butt heads at some point or another. So we got to be discerning here, or we got to try to be discerning here with this Venus morning star in Aries. When it comes to relationships, there might be a lot of ups and downs in the coming months in relationships, because we will stand up. We will stand up more for what we want and not settle for the bare minimum, because we know we can have what we want. So there's this part of where we say we take risks in love and say yes, but also we take the risks and say no. That's not for me. And that's also a risk, because if you're already in a relationship and you're realizing this is just not, I'm shrinking myself, I'm giving myself up, I'm selling myself short, I'm not fully me, I can't be fully me, I can't be authentic. Remember, this is Mars instinct. So we are very instinctual here, we are trusting our instincts more. But with that can come power struggles. So, I mean, we could talk about this forever, but I want to end this video here. If you have any questions about this particular transit, please feel free to comment in the comment section. And then in the next video, I will get you the rising signs. And that's it for now. Any questions, again, ask. If you want a personal reading, book it by clicking on the link in the description box. And anything else, I'm here for you. I'll talk to you later.